Well, hello there, lovely, lovely people. Am I audible? Am I all sorted and everything? Oh, dear me. What time are we on? 19. I'm only a bit late, I'm sorry. Hello there, Sven Bellins. Hello, thanks for the happy birthday. George Hans, hello. Dog Walker, hello. Chiggered Limey, how you doing, my friend? Charlie Welch. Hey, Jonesy. Hey, Welchy. Um, oh yeah, oh right, yeah, bot, yeah. Ban the dude. Thank you. How we all doing? How we all doing? Absolutely fine and dandy. I've got my favourite tipple. Blue me. All right. Why are you not a thingy? Sure. Right. If I pour a pint, wet the glass on the inside first. See. Yeah. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Or if you're an atheist, happy Friday. Still the same day whether you're an atheist or not, isn't it? Hey, 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 hey. Look at me. Right, let's see if this works. It does work! It highlights the chat. I've finally done it. Let's highlight that. Oh, yes. Look at this. Look at this. This is good. This is good. This is good. Can I add you as a mod? Yes, Charlie Welch, you are now a moderator. Chicken Limey. I love you, guy. I really do. I can't wait. You've got your new camera, haven't you, Limey? Pretty sure. Cheeky Vlogs. Hello, 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 Cheeky Vlogs. How are you doing? Let's look at that. That's good. That. See, I've got everything sorted. Yeah, Charlie, don't go overboard. Oh, alrighty. Yeah, it's yep. I'm good, Limey. I hope you. Yeah, always good. I did enjoy your live stream the other night. Jumping on your live stream, that was good. You got a spanner, yeah. No worries, no worries. Uh, have I missed anybody? Yeah, you did. It looks your camera looked really good. So yeah, looking forward to some really good content from you, as always. That Charlie Zelenoff, what a lunatic that lad is. Oh dear. He is one absolute loon. Having another can. Bit thirsty. Let's put that there. Let's put that there. So, how is everybody else? Are you all fine and dandy? I'm going to have to remember to press clear. The first video that we're going to watch is a guy called Brett Keane, who seems obsessed with Matt Powell, and he seems obsessed with Kent Hovind. Heaven knows why, I don't know. Ex-atheist, now he's a believer. He's been watching too many creationist videos. Oh, I swear down. And he seems obsessed with me, yours truly. What a dick. Do you love fluffy little kittens? I've got a cat called Ricky, who is falling asleep right now. Hiya, bad hamster. How you doing? Good evening, everybody. How many have I got watching? It doesn't say. How can I? It doesn't say how many I've got watching. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'll talk to anybody if they excite me. You know what I mean? And I'm not including Mrs. Jones in that. I hope she's watching. This bloody chair squeaking like a frigger. I hate this chair. Mrs. Jones said she'll get me a new like chair. She won 2 grand on some website or something, William Hill website. She's won 2 grand, and she said she'd get me a chair. So I'm still waiting for the flipping chair. Hurry up, Mrs. Jones, will you? Because I'm falling off this thing. My fat backside won't stay on it properly. No, bad hamster. It's my birthday next Friday. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a live stream or not. I really want to. But I don't know what the family have got planned for me. It's my 50th next Friday. But like I say, I don't know what the family's got planned, if anything. Knowing my family, they'll just bring me a crate of San Miguel's, wish me happy birthday for about 10 minutes, and then bugger off. Which is about right for my family. Hello in New Zealand. Oh, it's morning over there, isn't it? Crikey. Lovely New Zealand. Is it true there's lots of sheep in New Zealand? Lots of sheeps. "42 in a couple of weeks." I remember my early 40s. I was pretty much drunk for most of them. I still remember them though. Right, let's get on with the show. Leak. There's lots of love today. Lots of love today in the chat, which is good. Like I say, mods, if you can keep an eye on the chat for us, please. I know you do already. If there's any bots, just ban them. If there's any anybody who disagrees with us, let them disagree with us. Let them go, as long as they don't swear or come out with any homophobic, racist crap. Lots of sheep, lots of cattle. Yeah. So yeah, just if you can keep an eye on the chat, because I don't know if I'll be able to. Right, let's get on with this. Let's turn that up, and let's hear the dulcet, boring tones of one Mr. Brat Keane. Ooh. That's me. That's me. Ah. Well, yeah. You'll have to stop drinking, Limey, and be a bit quicker. Alcohol slows you down. I know this only too well. I used to sprint like 110 metres in at least 50 seconds, and now I could barely make it in 60 days. Oh no, you can't hear him. Can you hear him now? Nebula, no. Oh, why is it not working? Why is it not working? Hang on. Oh, why is it not working? Oh, ban that dude. Just ban the dude. It was working before. So why is it not working now? Desktop audio. Monitor and output. Oh, what a dick. Yeah. I'll have to put that up. Oh. Why is it not working now? Oh.
Stereo, on your computer, anything that has internet access. God bless.
I can hear it, but you can't. Oh. It just popped up then. Hang on. Hang on. Talk amongst yourselves for a bit. I'll get this sorted if it kills me. Hello there, second best Bob. I know I had something. Can you hear it now? Hmm.
...1972 YouTube channel. This guy, I actually believed, had some decency about him.
Is that wicked? Fish and chips. Is it working now? Not working. Oh, bugger. I don't know what's going on here. Ah, you can hear somebody. I like fish and chips. Anything now? Hello there, district driver. How are you doing, my friend? No, it's not feedback. Oh, hang on. Why is it not coming up? No. I'll get there. I'll get there. Oh, psychedelic music. But the thing is going up and down.
Long time ago, I made the rule of that if I debate an atheist, I will not do it on YouTube comment.
Oh, oh, crikey. I'm panicking.
Atheist. An atheist has to actually do it on our live shows. It's not because we want control or something. We simply don't want it to where an atheist deletes a video whenever they lose in a discussion or a debate. We don't trust atheist moderators because atheists like to bring in as many people as they can to try to dogpile on one
I
single
should be able
Christian.
to hear it now.
In human history, we refer to this as unfair. This is not decent. It is not an intellectual way to debate someone by bringing 10 people into the mix who supposedly or allegedly agree with you to do all the arguing and yelling
I've done it.
If you actually wanted the truth and you actually wanted to have a discussion, you would not pull in a bunch of people that not only will not be a part of the discussion, but will usually resort to personal attacks where you laugh like little children and don't actually deal with the discussion at hand.
Right, let's start it again. I'm sorry.
Blessed today. We are going to talk about deceptive atheist, ladies and gentlemen.
Gotta go. Dick Dawson is helping with the OPS and Streamlabs, and if you, I'll be looking and listening. Hey, thanks for popping in anyway, Limey. Good friend. Thank you for popping in. Take care, my friend. Hope you hope you're doing well and everything.
I recently went over to Mr. Jones 1972 YouTube channel.
That's me.
This guy, I actually believed, had some decency about him. But I looked through the comments where I was having discussions with him, and he would ask me to prove what it was that I was talking about. I would tell him about what it is that scientists were claiming. He would come to my channel. He would say, give me reviews, peer-reviewed information, give me this, give me that, to prove that evolutionists are actually claiming this and that.
No, what I actually said, Mr. Bratkeen, was he says that atheists, only atheists, not everybody, just atheists, evolved from rats. And now he's changed it to atheists evolved from rocks. So this guy can't make his mind up. He just can't. He's a prat. He's an unbelievable prat.
So I took the time to do it. I actually went out, I got the science reviews, I got the information, I posted websites to him and all this. I clearly seen that my comments were going up on the channel. He was responding to them.
Oh, you didn't post any comments on my videos. You posted them on your own videos.
And never in any of the times that we talked did he ever accept that he was wrong or that he just didn't simply have an understanding, which is what I originally thought. I thought, is this guy saying all this stuff because he's uneducated and doesn't know what he's talking about? Because when you watch his videos, you can tell that there's just not something going on there where he's picking it up. So I go back to the comments that I originally was responding to him on through my notifications, And I noticed that he's deleted every single one of the comments as well as links that I posted to him having to do with science.
You lying scumbag. Not once, not a single time have I ever deleted any of your comments. Not a single one. My philosophy is you dig yourself a hole and you bury yourself in it. As long as you're not posting hate speech, I don't care what you do. But I never ever delete comments, ever. What a dick.
This was one of the reasons a long time ago I made the rule up that if I debate an atheist, I will not do it on YouTube comments because they can edit them, they can delete them, and they can do deceptive practices like this. This is the reason why people like myself, Matt Powell, as well as Kent Hovind and many other Christians have chosen that if we're going to debate an atheist has to actually do it on our live shows. It's not
Why?
because we want control or something. We simply don't want it to where an atheist deletes a video whenever they lose in a discussion or a debate.
So, Kent Hovind said he won't do a debate with Aaron Ra unless he has control of the mute button. Right, got you. This man is one dishonest ass.
We don't trust atheist moderators because atheists like to bring in as many people as they can to try to dogpile on one single Christian. In human history, we refer to this as unfair. This is not decent. It is not an intellectual way to debate someone by bringing 10 people into the mix who supposedly or allegedly agree with you to do all the arguing and yelling for you. If you actually wanted the truth and you actually wanted to have a discussion, you would not pull in a bunch of people that not only will not be a part of the discussion, but will usually resort to personal attacks where you laugh like little children and don't actually deal with the discussion at hand.
Hey up, Demon Orb.
That's the reason why Standing for Truth ended up making
Hang
a YouTube
on.
channel. You laugh like little children and not only will not be a part of the discussion, but will usually resort to personal attacks where you laugh like little children and
Laugh like little children. Okay then, Mr. Bratkeen. Let's hear you laughing like a little child, shall we?
somehow this information is getting into its little body and it's making it wow, wow, like Super Mario whenever he eats a mushroom. Wow, 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 wow. And supposedly you start getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then what we're left with at the end of the day is two men who look like have a great deal of similarities to that of an orangutan. There is me and Matt Powell and Kent Hovind will not disagree with you whenever you claim that you share similarities with an orangutan. When we look at you on video, we can clearly tell that you have a point there.
There is no G on the word orangutan. There's no G.
What we're trying to tell you, though, is you're not actually related to that thing.
Yes, we are.
Hold on.
Where's this fake laughter coming from?
Although you share a lot of similarities, you're not really a monkey, man. I'm sorry. I know.
Yes, we are monkeys. Pardon us. Well, we're really apes, but we descended from monkeys, aren't we?
And don't actually deal with the discussion at hand. That's the reason why Standing for Truth ended up making a YouTube channel where he moderates debates where people are given a certain amount of time to talk about what it is they're doing and only allows 1 versus 1 and not 10 atheists. If you notice, ladies and gentlemen, any podcast or show that I've ever went on, it's always either 4, 5, sometimes 10 atheists against me at the same time. Now, I don't mind having a bunch of people in my room. In fact, I'm going to do a live room tonight where anybody and
Ooh.
everybody is welcome.
Yeah. With
But
3
when you
people watching.
lose, the video remains up, period. I'm not like an atheist where if I feel like I didn't know something, or I feel like there was a disagreement or something I didn't acknowledge, or I made a mistake on, or I was wrong, I do not remove my video clips. If I'm wrong about something, I see that as exceptional, and I like to learn new things. But atheists, you don't. By the fact that you delete my comments, when I'm not personally attacking you, I'm not insulting the way you look, I'm
Ah!
talking about what it is that you ask me, and I give you the information, and you delete scientific information just so you can continue to hold this idea that you're the smart guy and that you have everything right. That is dishonest intellectually, and it shows that you're a deceptive person who has chosen not to care about the truth. And I'm not talking about the truth of God and the truth of religion. You don't even want the truth whenever science is being given to you. If history does not go along with your narrative and science doesn't agree with what you're talking about or your delusion or what you've imagined up, you're going to simply edit and delete that information. This is one of the reasons why I don't trust atheists. This is one of the reasons why the world does not trust non-believers. You're not actually wanting the truth. Some of you simply are ignorant and don't know any better, but some of you know better, yet you willfully destroy information and any evidence that is presented to you. You're willing to do whatever it takes to get rid of it just so you can preserve your damn ego in social media. And that's sad. That's pathetic. So,
Ah!
Mr. Jones, I will never trust you ever again. And you are one of many, many examples of why I will never have a debate with any atheist in any of the comments board of YouTube whatsoever, because it's so easy for people to just remove comments and edit what it is that people are saying and doing, and deleting people whenever you can't edit it out. He also ends up making a video representing me as believing something that I never claimed to believe in. He deliberately takes a clip of me where I'm talking about what evolutionists believe.
No. I have never ever taken a clip of this man. I've never done a video about this man. I did a live stream last week mentioning this man. So if somebody can tell me how I can, I'm on his YouTube page right now. This is where I'm getting this from. I've not downloaded it. I'm just doing a live stream and showing his YouTube page. So if anybody can tell me how I can edit this video while it's still on his YouTube channel, somebody tell me how I can do that. Bloody hell, it took me 10 minutes to get the audio working. What a dick.
And then he cuts that part out and keeps the part where I'm talking about the shrew and the creatures
Yeah.
that supposedly humanity came from in evolution. He cuts out the part.
Glober Mom, hello. How you doing? How you doing, my little lovely? I hope you and your family are fantastic.
Where I say this is what evolutionists believe, and leaves that part so it gives the representation that this is what I believe. I do not believe in evolution. I believe that I was intelligently designed by a higher power, by the God of the Bible.
If you were intelligently designed by the God of the Bible, you would come out with such claptrap. I watched debate with Kent Orvind and Atheist Junior earlier. Shout out to Atheist Junior. Hope you're okay, pal. I watched that debate and I just kept thinking, it's creation versus evolution. You can't even prove that God exists. So how on earth are you going to prove he created everything is quite beyond me.
I do not agree with evolution, and I find a lot of problems with it. And he has repeatedly said that the view that I'm showing him by scientists is wrong, even though it comes from the mouths of scientists themselves. He's also done this to Matt Powell, where he tries to edit little clips of Matt Powell to make it appear as though Matt Powell believes this stupid stuff that these scientists are talking about.
Wrong again, Mr. Keane. What I actually did was edit the part where Matt Powell believes that all homosexuals are pedophiles. He actually says this in a video. I think I got it from the Non Sequitur show. Yes, it was actually. He did an interview with Steve McRae, um, Kyle something or other on the Non-Sec show a few years ago. It's a show that I won't watch anymore because who's on it now? Steve McRae's still on it. He's an okay kind of guy, Steve McRae. It's just he's got that annoying bent on it. What's she called? Cheshire Vic. I don't know why I don't like her. I don't know. She just grates on me. I don't know why. Cheshire Vic, if you're watching, it's nothing personal. I just don't like you.
To make it look like Matt Powell is actually believing this and thinking this. This is deceptive. There's a lot of extremely childish ass atheists out there who will do anything for subscribers and views. And
But I've just shown how childish Brett Keane was by laughing at something. He can't even get the name orangutan right. And he's sat there laughing because it's just a fake laugh, really. He's not going to win any Oscars, this guy.
to me, it doesn't get any more demonic or satanic than that. When you deliberately try to make people appear as though they're saying things that they did not say, or trying to warp things to go into your deal. And I've also seen another problem. Kent Hovind, every atheist that he's destroyed in debate, these same atheists who've been destroyed have been intellectually proven absolutely wrong about their claims.
When has Kent Hovind destroyed an atheist in a debate? If that atheist didn't present any evidence, then yeah, he could have destroyed him. But you're not going to destroy anybody on facts alone. Young Earth creationists need belief. Atheists, and he fails to mention this guy, Brett Keane. He fails to mention that a lot of scientists are Christian.
Have went on to make countless videos trying to dig up crimes and history and everything they can, and even have tried to get a hold of Kent Hovind's ex-wife, his family members, and all this, trying to dig up personal information on a Christian who is well known to try to hurt him because they got beaten in a discussion having to do with science, creation, and evolution. I see atheists constantly do this. When they are embarrassed on the internet, they decide that they want to take it beyond the internet.
This is shout out to Emma Thorne. Actually, I like that woman. She is very, very good. Shout out to Emma Thorne, who Kent Hovind featured on Whack an Atheist. So Kent Hovind featured this Emma Thorne on Whack an Atheist. And Kent Hovind went on and on about teenage binge drinking in the UK. Why? He says, no, it's just whataboutism with these guys. What about this? What about that? Why can't why can't you concentrate on tigers dying in Asia? Why can't you concentrate on elephants dying in Africa? Why can't you concentrate on that? Hovind, Keane, we're human beings, for God's sake. We can concentrate on more than one thing at once.
I don't trust these people, and I've got no reason to do it. And I see that they have little miscreants and these little minions of theirs that hang out with them that seem to reward that behavior. And yeah, man, you get them and all this kind of crap. It's worse than childish. It's psychopaths. These people are sick.
Yeah, Sam, I did get on with this Brett Keane on his live stream. I was perfect. I was on his channel, so I made sure that I was perfectly respectful. This was on New Year's Day, very early hours of New Year's Day. Um, I was on his channel, so I was perfectly respectful. I didn't swear, I didn't call him names, I didn't do anything. But then Keen started coming on my videos and started calling me names. He started doing videos like this, calling me names. He started doing videos accusing me and Atheist Junior of having autism. While there's absolutely nothing wrong with having autism, if I had autism, I wouldn't be ashamed of it. And then when I quizzed him on this and I said, do you actually think, and I asked him this specifically, and I said, do you actually think that me and Atheist Junior have autism? And he wouldn't answer. Wouldn't answer at all. And I kept all his comments on my channel. I've kept all his comments on my video. I've never deleted a single one. And this guy is accusing me of deleting and editing videos deceptively. When this prat, this ungodly moron, starts accusing me of all sorts. He mentioned once in a video that the dolls behind me. This is why I went on his channel originally. This is why I went on his live stream. He mentioned the dolls and paedophilia in the same sentence, in the same comment. So I was up in arms about that. So I mentioned it to him, and my last words to him on his live stream were, do you know that I kept asking him and asking him and asking him, what is the significance of these things behind me? And I explained it to him on his live stream after weeks of asking him and him ignoring me. So I asked him and I told him on his live stream, the significance of these behind me is, one was a gift, or in fact, two was a gift, and two I won at a fairground in Blackpool. And that's it. He's a dick. This man is an absolute prat.
What kind of person does that kind of crap? Where you deliberately try to do that, and then you will actually convince your own self that this is what was actually said when you know it wasn't.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So I'm going to be doing a live show
George
tonight. And I thought you guys might find it interesting. One of the big reasons why I don't trust these non-believers. And I would suggest and encourage any Christians out there that if you ever find yourself where these atheists in comments, or they tell you, oh, you're a coward, or they try to intimidate you or bully you into coming up into one of their rooms.
I never asked. I'm still waiting. Matt Powell, I'm still waiting for your... I'm still waiting for you to debate me. You said that you would, but Brett Keane deleted a comment where you say, where Matt Powell says that I've been annoying him. I just want the debate. Brett Keane, I know that you're going to watch this video because your ego won't let you ignore it. I'll debate with you. On a neutral channel, with a neutral moderator, I'll debate you. You claim that atheists come from rocks. You claim that atheists evolved from rats. I will debate you on this topic. Neutral platform, neutral moderator, name your time, name your place, and I'll be there. Apart from February the 4th. Because, did I mention, it's my birthday.
So they can dogpile you all together because they don't have the courage to take you one-on-one. Tell them, yeah, I'll be more than happy to talk with you on my show, on my podcast, on my thing, or with a neutral person.
Yeah, Sam, that's exactly the way it was. Exactly the way it was. I went on his thing, and even a week afterwards, even a week after the live stream, everything was perfectly cordial. We was having a chat, and then he started with the videos, started calling me names, going on about my weight. He said I ate too much Mexican food, burritos, or what's the other one, enchiladas. I don't know what they are. He said I ate too much. I should stop eating those. I don't like Mexican food. Prefer Chinese food. So, you know, there's one of the assumptions they're going to got wrong anyway. And he's in no position to call anybody about their weight. Look at him. He's lying down on a freaking bed. He's lying down because he's too fat to get up off his ass. And on his live stream, he left me on my own about 4 times to go to the toilet. And I'm older than this guy, and I only need a pee once every 5 seconds.
Don't let them play games with you. These people are deceptive. It's like getting in the ring with Satan. Satan is not going to play fair. He will
Hi,
lie,
Tony.
he will deceive, and he'll do whatever he can to try to make God's children look stupid.
But, Brat, we don't believe in Satan either. Even Satanists don't believe in Satan. A very interesting video about Satanism on Emma Thorne's channel. She explains that Satanism isn't worshipping Satan. So I'd rather believe, and she admits herself, she says it herself, that she's a Satanist. And she says, I'm an atheistic Satanist. So she doesn't believe in Satan. Atheists don't believe in Satan. Even Satanists don't believe in Satan, like I've just said.
That is exactly the very attribute that Satan has, what these atheists are doing. So now I get it. Now I understand why it is whenever I was a non-believer, why Christians were very, very cautious when dealing with non-believers.
He probably will, Global Mom, he probably will. And yes, yes, Colo. Looks like 8 cow a week. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh, but I will laugh because he deserves it. Atheists believe in Santa. No, we don't. I do.
I didn't realize that a majority of them were like this. Now I do. We hope that you've been enjoying God TV.
Yeah, before we move on, he's also wearing sunglasses indoors. I don't get this. One of my favourite creators, he wears a cap indoors, Team Skeptic. You should have heard it. You'll have all heard it, Team Skeptic. He wears a cap indoors. What a little chav. Team Skeptic. I do love you really, my friend. I do. Chicken Limey sometimes wears an hat. Speak Truth, he sometimes wears an hat. I'm sure I've seen him wearing that. But, you know, all good guys. All good guys. 63 views and 6 comments. Come on. Get your fingers out. Like. Super chats are available. I'm joking. Let's get over the next one, shall we? Yes, this is the Non Sequitur Show. We touched on it, I think, last week. Touched on the Aaron Ra Kent Horvind thing last week, Bad Hamster. Don't believe in God, or a fair Tory government, but I do believe in Santa. Tony, I think you need a touch of help. Forgive me on that one. But yeah, we touched on this debate last week, I believe. And I'm going to let this play through a bit. We'll have a good laugh at Kent Horvind, and then we'll have a good laugh at a fourth dimensional flat earther. What could possibly go wrong?
Let's start with that as a working hypothesis. There were 7,000 created kinds. This is only of animals. This is not insects. This is not plants. This is not fish. Animals on land in whose nostrils was the breath of life that had to go onto Noah's Ark. I don't know how many kinds of created plants there were or kinds of created fish. That would be a different story. But let's start with the working hypothesis that there are original 7,000 created kinds. They have now diversified into millions of species.
Well done, Kent, for admitting evolution works. And evolution is a fact.
I agree. Speciation happens. I do not think that's any evidence for evolution. I think the speciation is always limited, very limited, in many ways. And I don't think there's any way Aaron's going to come up with any answer to how we get new information. For instance, this single-celled creature that develops a colony and has a digestive tract now has to develop wings and the ability to fly. This is adding information that they're just. I'd love to hear his answer. Where does the additional information for this cell come from, or this cluster of cells, to learn to fly, to learn to reproduce, to learn to eat, to learn to seek out food, to learn to avoid unpleasant conditions, be it temperature or sunlight or whatever. There are thousands of features that today's animals have. Obviously, the ability to move about, to seek a mate, to seek food, to ingest and digest food. And this had to come from a single cell. Where it looks to me like additional information is being added. Where does this come from? Which is, I think, another giant problem for those who believe, capital B, believe in evolution.
I'm guessing by the space that I'm allowed to speak again.
Oh, sure. Yeah, please do. Yes.
Okay. So you said that what you proposed just now, which again is you've just expressed how you don't understand what you're talking about, but everybody listening to this has gathered that much by now.
Oh, okay.
You said that.
Did you hear Kent Horvin's Yoda impression then? Oh, doesn't like it up and at him, does he, Kent Horvin? Bless him.
That this would be what you propose as a working hypothesis. In what actually makes it either working or a hypothesis? What experiment could we use to vindicate this idea if it were true, or falsify it if it is not?
Okay, let's see if we can cross an elephant and a pine tree. Let's get the sperm or egg of an elephant and the pollen from a pine tree and see if we can get them to produce something. Or let's look at let's see, can they, the Bible says they will bring forth after their kind. If we start with 7,000 kinds of animals, can we get them to interbreed?
Well, let's start with, I think Dog Walker picked up on this last week. Let's start with a red squirrel and a grey squirrel. Both the same kind, I think Kent would agree, both the same kind of animal, but can they interbreed? No. Let's take a polar bear and a black bear. Both the same kind of animal, can they interbreed? No. Black bears and grizzly bears can't interbreed. So, Kent, you're going to have to tell us what is a kind. It's as simple as that. Don't tell me what they do. I already know that they bring forth. But tell me what they are. Oh.
You think it's possible for a bat to interbreed with a bird?
Are you saying that God created a first pair of bats and also created a first pair of birds? Is that your answer to my question?
I don't know how many first pairs of birds there were. Maybe there were 50 pairs.
Okay, so
of
that
birds.
is not an answer to my question then.
I am answering.
So he doesn't know how many pairs of birds was on the ark. Strange. I mean, he doesn't know anything about the Bible, this man, does he? He can't tell us how many different kinds of animals there were. He can't tell us what those animals were. Were kangaroos on this ark of yours? Crazy.
Your question.
But you're answering that you do not have an answer is literally what your answer is. You don't have the answer.
My answer is there are probably many original created kinds of birds. I don't think.
Probably.
You can put all birds. Okay. You put birds in the same kind as pine trees.
Okay. Yeah. They're both eukaryotes. So your experiment by taking the egg of an animal, a mammal, and combining that with a pine tree, having no recollection to the fact that we're talking about animals on one side and plants on the other, you think that this verification of evolutionary law somehow refutes evolutionary law and instead supports the magic imaginary friend theory?
Well, let's avoid the pine tree then, if that's your stumbling block. Let's take an elephant and a whale.
I'm not the one with the stumbling block here. Let me help you with this. I can clarify this question a little bit better. We'll just do it as a short series of yes or no. Are mallards related to pockards, wood ducks, and muscovies?
I don't know.
You don't know.
But Kent Horvind taught high school maths and science for 15 years. And he says he also taught biology as well. So wouldn't a biology teacher know these things?
So God could have created separate kinds for pockards. Pockards could be a kind unto themselves, even though they're all ducks.
Never seen Pokemon. Sorry.
As I said,
so he didn't create a duck kind. And ducks and chickens are in the galliform kind, and galliforms are also with the neonace and paleonace in the bird kind, along with Euornates and Ichthyornis and Enanthiornis and a number of others, and Archaeopteryx, I guess, as well. At what point do we have a created kind? Where is the evidence to indicate the possibility of a creator?
Well, where is your evidence that a duck kind and a whale kind are related?
So he's dodging. He's just been asked a clear question, and Hovind is dodging. Why isn't Hovind on camera? He said at the end of this debate, it will be up on my YouTube channel, KentHovindOfficial.com, and all the rest of it. But it's never been there.
Well, the fact that you can't define what a kind is probably the first problem. But the fact that they are both within the same parent categories, they are both animals, for example.
That proves we're related. And plus don't forget,
it proves they're still the same kind, doesn't it? Well, unless we go with what the actual definition of kind is, which is where the clade begins with a special creation. So are you saying that God created a certain group of ducks and then created another certain group of ducks, that he created a kind of mallards and a kind of pockards, that he created every different species individually? Is that what a kind is? Or is it something larger? Is it a larger category than that?
You just used the word kind and species in the same sentence, and yet you said you don't do that. Go back
and I distinguished them. I did, because I don't mix them the way you keep accusing. You do. You're the one that keeps saying if they bring forth, which is the definition of species, not kind. I keep correcting you on this, but you do not correct yourself. That's why after 20 years, you still repeat the idea that I'm supposed to believe that we came from a rock, even though I've seen a dozen people correct you on this very point, and you've never fixed it.
And he still says it to this day. Evolution teaches you came from a rock. Brad Keane, he says it on his videos. He says exactly the same thing, but he says atheists came from a rock. And then he cites on his video, I wish I'd showed it to you. I think I showed it last week. On his list of citations on his Google search, it says, "Did humans evolve from rocks?" And under one of his links, it says, "No, humans didn't evolve from rocks." So Brad Keane, his own citation doesn't bloody work out.
It doesn't need fixed. Evolution does teach.
Yeah, nobody believes. No evolutionary biologist, nobody promoting evolutionists believes we came from a rock. Nobody. That is a lie on your part, which you have never corrected.
Doug Sherples, my good friend. I hope you're okay, mate.
I can say, and if I can interject, if you don't mind, I've actually brought the same thing up to you a couple of years ago. But I have never seen any evolutionary biologist or anybody advocate that evolution teaches that we came from a rock. I have only heard that from creationist source. So can I ask you, do you have any citation that we can look at from a some kind of evidentialism from a evolutionary textbook that says evolution claims we came from a rock?
Yes, the Bible teaches that this invisible, omnipotent being called God, that doesn't have any lungs, breathed the breath of life into some dirt and created a man. And they think that we're stupid. They can't even prove that God exists, yet they want to tell you that God did everything in 6 days. God made trees, I think, on Wednesday, the plants and the trees on Wednesday, and then made the sun and the moon on the Thursday. How did those plants and trees survive? Because they don't state that a day is a 24-hour day like what we think. I've heard some creationists say that a day could last for years and years and years. So how do the plants and the trees survive without the sun?
I think I showed very clearly from dozens of textbooks. You tell me.
You didn't answer the question at all. You showed not one textbook that supports that argument ever in your life. Not just tonight, never.
Aaron, this original cell that you say became the ancestor of the whales and the pine trees, what did that come from?
You have to assume that it's the ancestor because we have other lines of evidence that draw that. Right now, we're only going to the right now. We're only talking about the facts and the possibilities as we see them.
Yeah, which textbook has that in there? Because I've asked that question before, actually, and I still haven't got an answer. And I'm curious. I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible here. I really would like an answer to that question because it's been brought up before, and I've had other creationists say there are textbooks that say, according to evolutionary theory, we evolved from a rock. And I have yet to find a single textbook that says that. If you have one, I honestly would like to read for that, and I will read that.
There's not a textbook that even allows for that.
I am calling it up right now. But in the meantime, while I get this in my PowerPoint, I have like 10,000 slides now. Do you believe this original cell came from a primordial soup, which...
See you later, Tony. Take care, my friend, and keep well. There should be sound.
Came from the in the oceans or a nice warm pond or something like Darwin. Where did this original cell come from? Where did the first living cell come from?
I did a video on this also simply titled Abiogenesis, which is set as an instructional material for middle school students, in which I explain that I don't necessarily subscribe to just the primordial soup. That's a possibility, I suppose. There are a number of overlapping ones. There are more than a dozen different processes that are distinctly different from each other, and none of them qualify as the evolutionary processes, but which also lend, any number of them could be true at the same time. Almost all of them could be true at the same time.
Okay, so I'll ask the question once again. Where did the first cell come from? What do you think? What does Aaron think is the answer to where did the first living cell come from?
Hey, Chiller John Kearney, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're well. Kent Hovind, why is he going on about abiogenesis? Where did the first cell come from? That's not what evolution is. Evolution says how life evolved. You know, descent with inherent genetic modification and all the rest of it. It doesn't say how life began, it just says how life evolved.
As was explained in the video when I answered this the first time, giving it again, let's see, how can I paraphrase this? I believe in the, I think the RNA first example is probably the best supported. I think everybody universally agrees with that.
Either the RNA world hypothesis or some kind of
yeah.
Yeah,
the primordial soup was it was a good one for its time.
That's back in the 70s.
Yeah, but RNA first appears to be it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, with the cell, because that's what he's asking about, is he wants to go to several, he wants to skip a whole bunch of different stages and go just to the first cell. And then we're talking about hypercycles, where you have a phospholipid bilayer, which already includes replicative RNA, not DNA yet. But I think before we can classify as life, we don't necessarily have to have DNA yet, where it's enough to just have RNA.
Self-replicating RNA.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, now, and where did this RNA come from? You agree? I think we both agree that
Why
RNA.
Why are we talking about that instead of evolution, which is the thing we were supposed to be discussing tonight?
Yeah,
exactly, Dog Walker. Exactly. Divert into other topics. Crazy. Thanks, Chiller John Kearney. Charlie Welch. Oh, Charlie Welch is there as well. Oh, he's still there. Good. Everybody's fine and dandy on this fine Friday Eve.
And the question that was posed.
You asked me a clear question.
Did I mention it's my birthday next Friday?
Where is the evidence that you believe you came from a rock?
Well,
I'm trying to get. I think if you guys would admit it, this RNA had to come from the water somewhere, from minerals in the water.
In the water? In the water? No. He said evolution teaches it come from rocks. And now he's telling us it's come from the water. What? He doesn't know his tits from his ass, this man.
And the minerals came from a rock.
No.
And the planet Earth.
No, that's actually not the hypothesis, Ken. But
the
question I've asked this before, and I know Aaron's frustration on this quite well. For evolution to occur, and please correct me if I'm wrong on this, Aaron, but for evolution, you have to have genetics. You have to have genes. You have to have a change of allelic frequency in a population.
But also to address his misunderstanding about this, when there was the Murchison chondrite that landed in Australia in 1969, which was that would we would all accept that was a rock, but it was a rock that was also found to contain many different dozens, I think, different amino acids and some unknown chemicals of extreme complexity, but they were not themselves rock.
Is it really, John? Is it really? Yeah. All right then. You little bloody troll. Stop stirring the shit, will you? For God's sake. We're gonna look at a debate in a few minutes, mate, with a flat earther. Knows if I do it, doesn't he? He's a turd. You're a turd. You're an absolute turd, man. next Friday, if I do a live stream next Friday, it's my birthday. Did I not mention the next Friday? I don't know what's planned, but I will do a live stream sometime next weekend, and I will do some TV licensing stuff. And if anybody wants any advice on how to be TV license free legally, I must stress legally, pop over to Chiller John Carney's channel. Loads of fantastic free advice and everything. Really good, really good friend of mine. It's an excellent channel and lots of really good advice.
So at 0 point in our ancestry were we ever descended from a rock. Nobody, nowhere, never, ever thought this. You have been wrong your whole life about this. Fix that error.
So this meteorite that was found in Australia is your answer. It contained things. In other words, life came from outer space. Is that what you're trying to imply?
Wrong.
Wrong?
What I was explaining is the distinction between the amino acids and the rock matrix they were found in. They are not rock themselves, nor were we.
Okay, would you tell me, are amino acids made of the 92 naturally occurring elements?
Being a part of a natural occurring element does not in any sense make you a rock.
No, it doesn't. And John, you're going to have to switch to Flat Earth soon because the license fee will end. So we're going to have to evolve our channels somewhat.
If you freeze oxygen, would you call that a rock?
Well, a supercooled crystal like ice, I guess, or I'm not sure if
we're
that's...
talking about oxygen right now.
Yeah, I don't know if...
frozen hydrogen. Can you freeze hydrogen to make it into a rock?
You're diverting to a different topic now.
The same topic. The same topic you would like to divert away from. But yeah, it's if we cannot ever refer to these things as rocks simply because they're frozen, because they're not actually minerals, then we cannot call them rocks. At no point ever were we rocks. No evolutionary biologist ever thought that we came from a rock. Why would you believe something so dumb as that evolutionary biologists think we came from rocks? Why do you keep repeating this lie no matter how many times you've been corrected?
Well, I haven't been corrected. You've
been corrected right now.
So what?
Just
right
now.
now.
Not by me.
What evolutionary biologist in history has made that claim that we...
It's just been corrected right there. It's just been corrected. No evolutionary biologist believes that we came from a rock. And it's just been what Kent Hovind has been doing for the past 10 minutes is stalling and dodging and deflecting. That's all he's done. Global Mom said it earlier on. All he's done is stall, dodge, deflect, what have you.
Evolved from rocks. So I'm 48 years old, and I've never heard that except for creationists say it ever.
Okay, let's. I'm looking for the slides in the textbook now, but I have hundreds of textbooks. Do you believe that the Earth cooled down? Do you believe the Earth cooled down 4.6 billion years ago?
Kent, with all due respect, you are changing the subject right now.
It's still deflecting.
No. This is exactly the point. Do you believe...
Exactly the point was for you to identify kinds. That was the only way that you could deal with my two items of evidence that I gave. Was that we know things that are true to be, we know things that are verifiably, demonstrably, observably true about evolution, where we have no such information about creationism. That's one you have failed to address. You simply denied that it exists, and you redefined everything through the fallacy of equivocation. And you have failed to address the phylogeny challenge, so you can't address my issue with phylogeny either.
Well, we're on to 5 different topics. Let me answer the one about the rock.
Well, they're the same topics. These are the same topics.
Okay.
They're just...
Okay. I have in front of me the answer to your question. Here is a first grade textbook in my collection, which says, Earth has changed much since its formation 4.5 billion years ago. Do you guys believe the Earth is 4.5 billion years old? Or 4.6 or 4.6297 and 3 months?
I will have to defer.
See? What on earth has that got to do with evolution? I mentioned it last week on when he did his 6 things of evolution. You know, you can't have, biological evolution without stellar evolution. But you can. Life on this planet evolved, and it's still evolving right now. But what has that got to do with a planet forming in another galaxy somewhere? Doesn't have anything to do with it whatsoever.
Refer to the experts on this because I don't know the thermodynamics or the physics. There are other people who do that. I do phylogeny.
I'm showing you from the textbook, a first grade, I could show you from every year textbook, that the Earth formed 4.5 or 4.6 billion years ago,
But
and
you're not
it was
showing
a
us
hot
anything.
ball of rock. This is what the books teach.
Okay.
If
Is metal also rock?
Well, yeah.
I've heard that it was rock and metal. My textbook said it was rock.
Heavy metal's
and
rock.
Metal. Matter of fact, I think my
Hail
textbook
Satan.
said rock, metal, and gases.
So did this hot
So how do
ball
you distinguish rock from metal?
Well, that would be an interesting question. I think there are quite a few
Yeah,
metals
well,
that
especially
most
since
people...
our bones are made of calcium, and that's
So why can't Horvind answer that question then? He taught high school maths and science for 15 years. No, he didn't, did he? He lied to children in church. That's exactly what he did. He has no qualifications to being an accredited high school teacher whatsoever.
considered a metal too.
Sure.
And you've already established
that
oxygen cannot be considered a rock even if you freeze it.
Before you dance around the subject,
again,
I'm showing you the answer.
That nobody ever believed that we came from rocks.
I'm
not
showing
even
you
your
right
Hang on, you guys are talking. You guys are talking over each other now. Ken, what you just said, what you just quoted from that textbook, I just don't think answers that question. That doesn't involve evolution. Evolution is something that requires genes to have a change of genetic frequency of the alleles. Whether the initial sources, you can go back to where they came from the Earth, where they came from stellar nuclear synthesis, where they came from the Big Bang. You can always go back where the elements came from, but we're not asking where the elements came from. We're asking you. You're saying that evolutionary theory states that we evolved from rocks. I have yet to ever see that, and what you quoted has nothing to do with evolution.
Well, that's where in the last 20 years, it's maybe because of my seminar. I'll take credit for that.
No, I'm almost 50. I've never heard it ever before in my life, except for what you've said in the past and other creationists.
Well,
so
this
I'm
is
still
wonderful.
not seeing anywhere
Kyle,
it has said that we have evolved from a rock.
Horvind panicking. This is wonderful. Kyle, help me. I'm going to destroyed.
Well, then God sent me here to help you then. Because the textbooks clearly teach the Earth cooled down 4.5 billion years ago, and it was a hot ball of rock.
But that's planetary formation. That's not evolution.
Yeah.
Right. When do we start with evolution?
You're not up to the evolutionary part yet. You're at planetary formation.
Yeah. We're not talking about concretion here. We're talking about evolution.
You can go back to the nebula hypothesis, but that doesn't get you to evolution yet.
And even if we were to misdefine it the way he is here, where he wants to take descent with inherent genetic modification and somehow extrapolate that to planetary concretion, still we didn't come from rocks.
Yeah,
because this is obviously not a planet just of rock. It's also rock and metal and gas and other things that don't qualify as either of these things, like amino acids and so forth.
What Kent Orvin's new thing now is he cites a paper or he cites an article saying you owe your life to a rock. Right. So if a fireman saves me from a burning building, does that make me a fireman? I owe my life to a fireman. So does that say that I evolved from a fireman? Somebody saves me from drowning. Does that make me that person? Did I evolve from that person? It's almost as stupid. That argument is almost as stupid as we evolved from monkeys, so why are there still monkeys? It's almost as stupid as that argument. It's like saying we adults give birth to children, so why are there still children? Why are there still adults? It's the stupidest creationist argument ever.
Just being made of chemical, he's already admitted, does not mean rock. If you can freeze oxygen and you still wouldn't call it a rock, just like you wouldn't call ice a rock, then it's not rock because it's not a mineral. So we're done. You're wrong, Kent. Correct your error.
We're not done, and you are wrong, and I have nothing to correct. Now, the textbooks teach 4.6 billion years ago, the Earth cooled down. It was a hot ball of rock. From that rock, the gases escaped, and made an atmosphere of oxygen. From that
so
rock.
You're saying oxygen is a rock?
No, it came from the rock.
Okay, but oxygen doesn't come from rock.
Rocks don't produce gases. They may contain gases. They may trap gases when they form, and then they solidify. But they never ever, they don't produce gases, do they? Gases escape from rocks that's become trapped inside. I don't know where Kent's going with this one.
Oxygen. Many of the rocks contain oxygen.
Oxygen is an element.
Contain.
I agree.
What mineral does oxygen come from?
I don't know, but I can show you where the text
doesn't come from a mineral, Kent.
The textbooks teach the Earth began as a hot ball of rock, and everything came from there.
Does hydrogen come from rock?
Apparently so.
How would that be apparent?
Well, you get a chemistry book and see how many rocks or minerals contain hydrogen in part of their chemical equation.
Well, many will contain the simplest of all elements, but that doesn't mean it comes from rock. You don't need rocks to create hydrogen. As a matter of fact, you need hydrogen to create rocks.
Wow. You asked me to point out where the textbooks teach this, and I show this clearly on my video.
And you failed utterly. Faceplant. The sad thing is you don't know.
No, he doesn't know, and he didn't produce that. And if you go on Kent Hovine's channel, Kent or whatever it is, if you go on Kent Hovine's channel, he doesn't produce anything. This video is not on his channel.
That
you face planted. That's the disturbing thing. No, or maybe that you do, but you realize that donors won't see it if you can gloss over it somehow. But hydrogen does not come from rocks. You can combine two hydrogens to make lithium, for example, and you can combine, or should be helium, and then combine a third one to make lithium, and so on. And you can get up to rocks, but you can't get hydrogen from rocks because rocks may contain hydrogen, but rocks don't produce hydrogen.
So according to the theory in the textbooks, the Earth was a hot ball of rock 4.6 billion years ago, and the gases came out of those rocks. I didn't write it.
Which means that the rocks did not produce the hydrogen. The hydrogen pre-existed them, and still no evolutionary biologist ever believed we came from a rock. Now, if we can get past that, which I know you're never going to concede this error, because when have you ever conceded any error, no matter how obvious? We're still getting to the 2 points of evidence that I brought up, which you failed to address, either one of them. Now, if you want to get off of phylogenetics, fine. Just declare your failure there. Otherwise, I'll have to paraphrase the question again and see how you fail to answer it again. Or we can go to the other one, if you like, and we can see how you fail to address that.
Okay, let's take the phylogenetics one. What you have, Aaron, as evidence is lines on a piece of paper.
Except that we've already proved that it's not that at all. Can you draw lines on a piece of paper to a cat from a dog? So you can include your family of dogs. Are they a family of dogs only because we drew lines? Or is there some other way that people have decided whether there's a family of dogs? And whether the Borophagians or the wolves or the Lycaena pictus, whether the painted African wild dog, are they part of dogs? Is it because somebody drew a line on a piece of paper? Or is there some other thing that is the reason they drew the line?
I have a textbook showing lines on paper connecting dogs and pine trees.
Does it explain the reason that they drew the lines? Does it explain the evidence why they drew the lines?
No.
Oh, okay, so they just drew the line because they wanted to? Just what, willy-nilly? So they can just draw lines from dogs to whales so that whales are now part of the dog kind? Because you can draw lines that way. So can you show me a textbook where they've done that? Where they've identified whales as a subset of dogs?
I did a Google search yesterday on systematics.
Is that a yes or a no?
I'm showing you a picture. Well, you can't see it.
Is that a yes or a no?
I'm answering your question.
So answer the question then with a yes or a no, and then give your explanation afterwards.
Are you answering it with a yes, or are you answering it with a no?
Aaron,
can you answer either one?
There are many other ways to answer
questions. Give me your explanations after you tell me if it's yes or no.
Okay. 2 plus 2 equals 4. It would be a yes or no question.
You can't answer
but
yes
if I
or no.
said what?
Answer yes or no. Okay.
You're in.
So Kent's panicking now. He just said 2 plus 2 equals 4. Oh, crikey. That's not a yes or no question. He's getting himself tied up here. Aaron Wright here is fantastic in this debate. It's like the one that he had with Jeminism on Flat Earth. He just completely tied the guy up in knots, like he is doing on this one, completely tying Ken Hovind up in knots.
Interrupting again. Many questions cannot be answered with a yes or no, like what color is the sky? That's not a yes or no question. Hello?
Hooray! Ken Hovind's found a question that doesn't need a yes or no answer. Hooray! It took him a few seconds, but he got there in the end.
I'm showing you on the screen, which you can see when you watch my PowerPoint. A lines on paper.
Your camera hasn't worked since this podcast began.
It will be up on my YouTube channel, Kent Hovind Official.
Your YouTube subscribers can see what you're not showing me, but at least admit that you're not showing it to me.
I'm telling you where I found it, and you can watch my YouTube anytime you'd like.
Oh, I do not want to subject myself to that. I don't like fiction.
That's why I don't. That's why I don't watch yours either. But that's okay. Google search systematics, just the word systematics. It shows a picture of a lizard, a snake, a crocodile, and a bird, and they have lines drawn connecting them to a common ancestor.
Lizard, snake, crocodile, bird.
Bird. Yep, it's a cardinal.
We have two lepidosauurs and two archosaurs, all three of which are diapsid, or excuse me, all four of which are diapsid. Okay, I follow you so far. Go ahead.
So you think birds and crocodiles are related? Is that correct?
They are archosaurs.
Archosaurs, yeah.
So they are related.
Yes.
Meaning that they are related within the confines of the class or the clade Archosauria. Yes.
Yes.
So they had a common ancestor. A crocodile and a bird had a common ancestor.
In the fossil record. Right now, if we're only talking about Linnaean characteristics of classification, then yes, birds are archosaurs just as are crocodiles.
So yes. You're saying birds and crocodiles are related because
I'm saying that birds are in the same category as crocodiles because they're both archosaurs.
Okay.
How many times has Aaron Ra got to say this to Kent Hovind before he actually sinks in?
There is other evidence that we can get to that shows that they are related.
Okay, so
one of them being,
you have a group of evidence, and by the way, evidence is a word. You can Google search it, but you have a group
quantifiable. You don't count evidences.
It is a word. Okay, it is in the dictionary.
It is a word, but it's not countable, so it's grammatically incorrect to say evidences.
Yeah, I'm glad you think it is. Okay, but
it is grammatical. Aaron Ra's right here. You don't say like, I have lots of evidences. You go into court and just, I have lots of evidences that this man has committed this crime. You say, I have lots of pieces of evidence. I have pieces of evidence that this man committed this crime. Or I have evidence that this man committed this crime. You don't go into court and say, I have evidences that this man committed this crime. So Aaron Ra is spot on here.
That is in the dictionary. Now, this shows a line between a crocodile and a bird to a common ancestor. Mm-hmm. You say there are evidences that indicate this is true because...
Who's that? Bad Hamster? Yeah. Take care, my good friend. Stay safe.
Somebody decided to call them the same and put them in the same category.
Wrong. Not because somebody decided to call them the same thing. As I said, Carolus Linnaeus obviously wasn't happy with realizing that humans were apes or the apes were humans, and he couldn't reconcile that. He obviously had huge dilemmas with that. And his dilemma was with the religious community because he knew that he would be under the ban of all ecclesiastics if he were.
We're going to go about 4 minutes on this and then move on to a flat Earth debate.
To admit this.
And you think that's why he
didn't even think it was a possibility, so never considered it. And so this is why it was such a dilemma for him. When Darwin came up with natural selection and found that it was actually possible to derive new species from other species, then he realized how this tree of life that Linnaeus had discovered, he found out the answer that explained the problem that Linnaeus couldn't answer himself.
So Darwin counted 14 species of finches on the islands, and that proves finches and crocodiles are related.
If you have any idea what you're talking about and extrapolate it, yes. There's an awful lot that you refuse to look at that indicates that, yes.
I'll look at anything. I think this.
You haven't looked at anything I've shown you so far. And I would genuinely love to help you with this, but you are really having a problem. I could try to summarize it another way, because we brought up cats before. I mean, would you say that Bengal tigers are related to Burmese tigers and all other tiger species?
Probably so. Yes, sir.
Probably.
Probably so. This is a man who taught high school science and maths for 15 years and doesn't know the answer to that question. Right.
So we're not even talking about. There's not even a probability that God created individual tiger species. So they all had a common ancestor that was a tiger.
No, there is a probability that there were several original kinds of tigers. I don't know. I've said that many times.
Several original kinds. So God created the Burmese tiger and the Bengal tiger and all the other original tiger species, so they don't have a common ancestor at all.
I didn't say that. You're the one saying that. I said, and I'll say it again. Maybe you'll get it this time. Okay, I said I don't know how many original kinds of tigers there were. There might have only been 2 tigers. There might have been 8 tigers.
Again, as I said, if evolution from common ancestry is not true, and some special flavor of creation is of unidentified kinds is true, then there would be some surface levels in a cladogram where you would accept an actual phylogeny. But then there must also be subsequent levels in that twin-nested hierarchy where things are not the biologically related anymore. And at that time, it would be magically created separate kinds. You haven't shown me even the possibility of kinds yet.
I'm looking at a phylogenetic systematics drawing taken from the internet yesterday when I thought we were going to have this discussion, but because of technical problems, we did not. It shows a whale and a horse and a camel all having a common ancestor.
It doesn't surprise me in the slightest, Global Mom. Really doesn't.
This is what they show the kids. I'm looking at another drawing taken off the internet yesterday, and you can watch Kent Hovind Official, and I'll even buy you a Pepsi to drink. I'm not going to buy you beer, but I'll buy you Pepsi to drink while you watch it.
Wow. Jesus turns water into wine, but then in the next breath says you can't drink it. Right, okay. Just one of the many contradictions in the Bible that Kent Hovind doesn't admit to. And doesn't the Bible teach that the earth is flat? So why doesn't Kent Hovind believe that the earth is flat? If there's no scientific inaccuracies in the Bible, and if there's no contradictions in the Bible, why don't we live on a flat earth?
Showing the panther and the dog and the otter and the skunk related, as I mentioned before. And this is how they classify them. Darwin saw 14 varieties of finches. He then jumped to the wild conclusion, and he said so on page 170 of his book. He said, it's a truly wonderful fact that all animals and all plants throughout all time and space should be related to each other. This is a non sequitur. This conclusion does not logically follow from the argument. The argument is there does. Okay, in your mind, it does. I know.
Yes, it does follow on from the argument, and there is no argument between evolution and creation. Evolution is fact, creation is not.
I know in your mind,
not in my mind, but in the actual reality that we can demonstrate, since all these different finches, there are different species of finches, and he was coming out of a belief system, or where people had previously believed that species were immutable, and he came to the realization that species are not immutable, and that there are features, that there is this mechanism that could derive these other different species of birds from one common ancestor, i.e. a clade, not a kind. A clade. Once again, for the nth time, the difference between a clade, which you keep calling kinds, but it's actually clades, the difference between a clade and a kind is that a kind begins with an event of special creation. You haven't shown any 2 items that are different kinds, but within what science would consider to be the same clade. You failed utterly to do that, despite every repetition of that question. Can you now address
first signs of a cold?
I think that's a good time to pause that there. We'll come back to that at a later live stream, because Hovind is just getting embarrassed. Absolutely owned, absolutely embarrassed. I don't get this. Where in the Bible does it say that you shouldn't taste alcohol or drink alcohol? I don't get that. It doesn't. I've not seen that anywhere in the Bible. But thank you everybody that's commented and is in the live chat. We've got 11 people watching, which is great. Thank you all so much for watching. Let's get on with a flat earth debate, shall we? And this is a debate that FTFE did. I like FTFE, me. He's good. He's a good guy. He had a debate with Howard George Stirrup, not a religious nut job, a conspiracy whack job. who believes any conspiracy, absolutely everything. He just believes in everything. Mud floods, the virus that shall not be mentioned. He believes that it's not a virus and it's magnetic and the vaccine's magnetic and all the rest of it. What a clown, as you're about to see now. It's one of my favourite debates. I do apologise that it's got the lying con man that do apologise that it's got lying con man that is Sean Hufford on there. Yeah, the Bible doesn't say you can't drink alcohol. It doesn't say it, does it? Stop censoring Harold! Yay! Yeah, stop censoring Harold. Anyway, let's go on with this for about half an hour, and then I'm going to close the stream down and thank everybody and wish everybody a good night. Somebody mentioned fish and chips earlier, so I'm going to cook some fish and chips, I think.
And our guest today...
Oh, hang on. What was that message then? Call on. Just been reading up on poster bite or something. It's very interesting. It does seem that crocodiles and birds both have the same structure in the skull, so unless Kent can show, no. But what Kent does is just deny everything. He says that whales don't have pelvic bones or anything like that. They are something to do with the reproductive system. Of course, that's his opinion. He doesn't actually know anything. As we've seen in that debate, he doesn't actually know anything about biology.
Is Howard George Stirrup, is that right?
That's right. Thank you for having me, Craig.
Welcome to the channel. I think the first thing I before we get started is what is your position on the shape of the Earth?
Okay. I'm a globe skeptic.
No, you're not.
I don't really have set beliefs, so I keep my mind open, which is more scientific, I think. I'm convinced that there isn't 8 inches per mile squared curvature, because I've made observations at water level. We'll get into all that after, I guess. I'm convinced that stars are as far as we're told, and I'm convinced that the moon isn't what or where we've been told either. So I'm open-minded to the Earth being either flat or a 4th dimensional shape.
So hang on. He's open-minded, but he's convinced that the moon isn't the moon and the Earth isn't a globe. But he's open-minded. He's open-minded.
There's a flat plane of inertia, and the rest of it, maybe only the Creator knows.
Wow. I must say I'm impressed already. You brought a model.
Creator?
Which is one step above any globe skeptic, flat earther, concave earther that we've ever had on the show. So I think the way we're going to do it tonight is we'll give you 10 minutes to present your evidence. Just tell me what clip you want me to put up, which picture you want me to put up when you're talking, and I'll put it up for you. And then we can just get into discussing things.
Okay.
I got the timer.
Just to make sure this is clear, this is an idea. This is a depiction of what an electromagnetic field looks like, thanks to ferrocells we can see nowadays. So it's saying that it's a 4th dimensional shape. In other words, something we might not be able to even visualize.
No,
like
that's
a 4D cube or a, you know what I mean.
If anybody in the chat can correct me, but that's not an accurate depiction of the electromagnetic field around the Earth. Oh, I don't think it is.
Mm-hmm. So this is just a way to understand why the ancients probably used the yin symbol. That's how I understand it. Is it possible that you keep my pictures after? Because my main argument is that there's enough evidence out there already, and with all due respect, I think that we've all been hypnotized to not see the truth in plain sight. So I would like to show you some evidence, go through some evidence, explaining how we could be mind-controlled with facts.
So if we've all been hypnotized, why doesn't he think that the Earth is a globe and that the moon is not what we say it is? Is there only some special kind of people that don't get hypnotized? He just said we've all been hypnotized. So why doesn't he think the Earth is round?
Factual evidence, and then afterwards maybe you can join the dots, and if not agree with me and many other people, at least understand us, because we're not all religious fanatics pushing definite models.
We're not all religious fanatics, but only the Creator knows. Right, okay. How many times is this guy contradicting himself in the first 5 minutes?
Of us have got open minds, and we're just making inquiries to learn, and we're open to new information if we're wrong. Not everybody, but
okay.
So if I can just do one last thing.
Yeah.
I had an idea, just in case I get sidestepped. I'm gonna try and post them in the group chat just so everyone's got. Let's try that.
Yeah, please do, Harold. Please do.
Just a sec, guys. Sorry,
yeah, no worries.
Okay, it's too much to fit in.
So, we're all being hypnotized into thinking the Earth is round, but he obviously has some special kind of tinfoil that doesn't allow that hypnosis through. And he's open-minded, but he's not open-minded to the fact that the Earth might be a globe. Right, Harold. Right. Yeah. Whatevs.
Just give me 2 secs. I'm just dropping it in your chat.
All right.
Yeah, flat Earth mines are an isolated system. Nothing goes in and nothing comes out.
Pretty much anyone else we've had on.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely give him the fact that he's actually brought something we can dissect.
Yeah.
Shut it, Sean. I don't like that much.
Which I'll leave that to you. Till the end.
That's still too big.
That's what she said.
Sorry, there's a 200 character limit, so I'm a little bit.
Oh, on the Discord, yeah.
No,
when did
on
Discord
the
get it?
YouTube chat.
Oh, on the YouTube chat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was a fair moderator. Yeah, I'll go with that one. Yeah.
Okay, I think I've got the majority.
I just didn't like the way that I didn't like the way that they had a fundraiser for Sean, because he said he was struggling with rent or something. He had to buy himself out of a lease or something, and then he decided to go move in with his girlfriend at the time. I don't know if they're still together. I don't particularly care, to be honest. And then started spending the money on something else, like takeaways and stuff. Well done, Sean. Well done.
Nearly there. Sorry about this.
Dick.
That's all right.
It'll be worth it.
Hey, I
Mighty
say take all the time you need
Possum!
because, again, you showed up and you've actually brought something that we can take a look at. So kudos to you in the most heartfelt way.
Mighty Possum. Hello.
Into my 10 minutes already.
No. We'll start it as soon as you're ready.
I was gonna say I hope team paused this because he did show up last minute, so he wasn't exactly ready to go out the gate. So yeah, if you still got the timer running, team, pause it. Give him 2 more minutes then.
Thank you.
I just reset it.
Hey, I'm giving him all kinds of props just because he showed up with something to present,
which is good.
That is a massive deviation from the norm that we're used to. So if I was wearing a hat, I would definitely tip it to you, sir.
No, what he showed up with was a little.
Seems to be like an actual hurdle that we have to address every live stream with a flat earther. It's like, is he going to be able to connect?
Just a quick note to my moderators. Please don't be timing anyone out, any flat earthers or anything, unless they're being hideously abusive. I see Gleam's in there. If he wants to, talk, and that's cool, just let him. I don't think Gleam will be abusive. Don't time him out just because he's saying things that no one likes. So yeah, and Gleam, I'd actually love a conversation with you at some point. Many things you said to MC Toon, I'd like to address.
Is there any chance that you could talk amongst yourselves just for 2 minutes while I go and do a Riley? Please, Thank you so much.
Floyd Marston, yes, absolutely, I am CGI. Okay.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
All right, are you ready?
Yeah, you can start the clock. I'll try my best to get through it all. There's some I didn't drop on the chat, but you've got a bit of it there. So my theory is that globe syndrome is the first step of mass hypnosis. In other words, it's the first step towards more indoctrination. And I don't mean to insult any of your subscribers that are watching, because we have all been indoctrinated in many ways. And if we're wrong, hopefully by conversing with maturity, we'll learn our errors. But let's just suppose that we've all been put under a spell so that we can't think for ourselves. Because can anyone really say that their thoughts are their own? Is there such a thing as an original idea, or is everything inspired? Hypnosis is where the subject is convinced to focus on something and reduce all the other thoughts until the subconscious thinks that it was your own idea. I've got a friend that's explained this to me, and these are some ways that we're being socially engineered and influenced, which I'm sure no one can debate with me. Repetition, you know, with music, with the choruses or adverts that always come on, it's the best form of mind control. It persuades us because we see it so often or we hear it so often, we just imagine that it is good. We get convinced. Entertainment is a way to engineer us, obviously. Entertainment means to enter the mind and to hold it, the actual word. It distracts us from critically thinking for ourselves. Subliminals, whether people believe in them or not, there's visual and audible subliminals that are subtle suggestions to our subconscious memory, so we might not take it in at the moment, but everything gets recorded. Fanaticism, we just cannot believe that we love could deceive.
Yeah, true. Word solid again. I've got no ill will towards Sean. I used to like him. I really did. Used to respect him. But then the fundraiser thing just changed my mind about that. I didn't believe in... Well, he may be a great guy, Global Mom. Maybe I'm being influenced by the bad press that surrounds him. Maybe I am. From what I've seen of him on other videos, he was okay. But then I didn't believe him when he started crying on a live stream explaining what he did or why he did what he did. I just didn't believe him, and you know, it's just one of them things, really. Hope he's found peace and what have you. You know, I don't wish him any ill will, or I wish him a happy life and hope he's doing all right. It's he's well, Global Mom, I will defer to your better judgment, because you knew him and you did know him. So I'll defer to your better judgment. I'll admit I was influenced by, what was said about him, the bad things that were said about him. I was influenced by that. And like I said, I didn't believe him when he was on the live stream and he started crying. I didn't believe his tears were genuine. But, he seems okay. I hope he's, happy and content and everything in his life. And yeah, he's not around on YouTube, no. But I do hope he's happy and content. I don't wish the guy any ill will. So, let's get back to Stop Censoring Harold, yes.
Deceive us, like Stockholm Syndrome, or when a person beats his partner, you tend to find the partner thinks the world of him. It's all factual. Humor.
Is Mr. 42 here?
cause us, you know, when people are sarcastic, and that it causes us to doubt our preconceived ideas. Negative priming, like if somebody farts and they want to blame somebody else, so they claim it first and they point out the most scruffy kid in the class, and boom, everyone thinks it's them. Well, we all go through negative priming when we're told not to believe our own senses.
No, because your senses are shit. Quick experiment for you. If you get a glass of water and imagine, you know, you're drinking a glass of Coke, you can almost taste that Coke. Quick experiment for you. You can almost taste it. So you can trick your mind into thinking all sorts of things. Your senses are crap.
From 3 to 5 years old, we're given the globe and told to believe in gravity and curvature that our senses cannot perceive, or you know, like the force that hasn't been demonstrated to us. So this is a tragic, traumatic.
Global Mom, I love you very much. I really do love you, and the way you've helped my channel. But how on earth can you tell? How on earth can't you tell me and Mr. 42?
Memory, because we're embarrassed. We're told we're not right about something that until we're told it, we believe's true. So this, in later life, triggers us to react negatively, and we're not able to take in the new information seriously. So we either ignore it or fight it. Fight the flat Earth. Mystery and secrecy entices us to go down rabbit holes. Temptation causes infatuation, greed, and dependency. Look.
Is it me? Right, this debate is supposed to be flat Earth versus globe Earth, and have I missed something here? But he hasn't mentioned, or he's not produced any evidence of a flat Earth whatsoever.
Remember, it's not what you say, but how you say it. So it's often the medium that's more important than the message itself. Prince Charming is the principality of charm.
Prince Charming, ridicule is nothing to be scared of.
Without getting too religious or anything, it's a seduction, it's a seductive force which causes delusion and provokes an alter ego. This is why scientists, doctors, and even some YouTubers can mislead. Politicians entertain. For over 20 years, we've had the possibility to be self-governed with the technology in our hands, like telephones, and we've got platforms like Facebook, which we could do open source. So with transparency on the coding and transparency on the voting, because we vote on Facebook what we like, what we dislike, we put our own ideas. Why do we have politicians? Entertain.
Facebook isn't open source though, is it?
To keep us distracted and think that we need them. We've got the television, which programs us, as I said, with all of those mentioned, and it impels us into a state of trance where we're open to suggestion. This is.
It impels us. Impels. I'm sure he means compels.
Proven by Herbert Krugman in 1969.
No, it's not open source.
The brain alters from waves to alpha waves, which is a state where we're not thinking so critically. So with television and all these other techniques, it's very easy to brainwash and socially engineer society. Plus, there's the obvious one, which you do have a image of, the two images of censorship, if you don't mind, while I'm talking. The censorship and suppression of information is like putting blinders on a donkey. It guides you down a narrow path of understanding, which obviously affects the decisions we make. So I've been censored on Facebook for recommending the scientific method that people verify the results that I'm claiming to have got from the 3 experiments that we'll talk about after.
Oh, Howard, you were censored on Facebook for coming out with a load of old conspirator crap. That's why you were censored. And you weren't censored by Facebook. You were censored by the moderators of the group that you was in. You weren't censored by Facebook at all. So stop lying.
And and Facebook's blocked me from science groups of physics and natural sciences. And I'm only asking people to check and make their own inquiries. That shouldn't be censored. It's not dangerous. Also, I've been censored for asking people to verify the math. And by putting in the online curve calculator, Facebook's algorithms have censored my posts and took them out. And I'm thinking,
no, the moderators of the group that you was in, like I just said, the moderators of the group that you was in censored you. Facebook itself didn't censor you at all. Harold, hashtag stop censoring Harold.
Well, how can math be so dangerous? And this is a point, this is a proof against the globe. Without me knowing what shape the Earth is, Facebook is censoring scientific inquiries in science-related groups, and it's censoring mathematics.
Yeah, television. It's a mixture of Greek and Latin, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it's Greek and Latin.
Inquiries in mathematics groups. So it's not like I'm spamming. It's not like it's irrelevant or trying to make accusations or suppositions. I'm asking people to check my math. I'm asking people to check my science. So that is a very strong evidence against the globe.
People did check your maths and people did check your so-called science, and they found you out to be a liar. There's a guy online who lives about 45 minutes away from this clown, and he debunked his, you can see street lights at Thingy from San Juan, 20 miles away from Benidorm Beach. I debunked this in a previous video. It's actually 17 miles, and what Howard doesn't mention in his video, that San Juan is 40 meters above sea level. Funny that.
It's obvious that the companies don't want us talking about this. The question is why? Why?
Doug Walker, if you'll be so kind, great minds, finish the quote.
Now these are some, have I still got a few minutes? I'll keep going. Okay, I'll try and be as fast
Exactly,
as possible.
Colin, exactly.
Here's just a few hints of mind control. The existence and the recognition of the Flat Earth Society and the actual term, or I like to say trigger word, earthers. Let's be honest, when I'm called a flat earther, it triggers me to respond maybe in a debate form. When
Howard, people call you a flat earther because you pose in photographs like that. You wear flat earth t-shirts. You follow Flat Earth Spain on your Twitter account. This is why people call you a flat earther.
People that have been educated with all the scientific knowledge or scientific theories of where we are and the reality we live in, hear the word flat earther. Since we were in school and we were shown the Earth tilting with water falling off, with floating through space, which, as you spoke about the other day, you know that.
It's not Spurs. It's not Spurs Chemo. I will not have him on this channel. I will never ever cover one of his videos. And this is the first and last time I will ever mention that deplorable, horrible, sick little bastard. I just won't do it. And for the simple reason is, a guy who was well known to the community, to the debunking community, called Boolinator, I think his name was. He was a guy that was very, very well respected by everybody, very well liked, and he sadly passed away. I think it was last year or the year before. He passed away, and Spurs Chemo made a not very nice comment about it. Get off there, you. Spurs Chemo made a not very nice comment, and I will never mention that name again. And if anybody has them on the channel or features them on their channel, I'll unsubscribe and I'll call them out on it, because what he said was out of order.
Nobody believes in that. You know that nobody follows the Flat Earth Society's set beliefs and claims. It's controlled opposition, and it's the first thing that comes up on Google ranking.
It's all right, Paul.
Why
It's
does the flat Earth...
Paul. It's absolutely fine. It's just my opinion. He wasn't very nice about Boolinator, and you shouldn't hang your head in shame because you didn't know. I've not made it known. This is the first time I've ever spoke about it, to be honest. And Spurs is, I just think he's doing it for attention. He's mentioned flat Earth once in a conversation. This is my opinion. He mentioned flat Earth once, said the Earth is flat many years ago. He got some attention for it, and he's just running with it. A bit like Level Earth Observer with, I think Global Mums just mentioned him. And I think he's just ran with it. I think Level Earth Observer did the same. He mentioned flat Earth in a conversation once, got some attention, and now he's just running with it now. And that's just my opinion. But Level Earth Observer is a bit thick. In fact, he's a lot thick. And Spurs Chemo is just one sick son of a bitch, and I don't mean sick in a gangster type way.
Society exists, and why do people like Obama and Google keep promoting it? It's definitely a disinformation to slow down people's inquiries, and again, it's a form of negative priming. The term anti-vaxxers is a trigger, and really, most people like myself are just learning about ingredients that shouldn't be in there, just like we shouldn't have fillings made of mercury anymore. No matter what chemical compound they change it to, there's no need for mercury to be in there, apart from the financial benefit of the company that it helps the duration of the shelf life. It doesn't help us. So when people are saying we'd like to improve vaccinations and inform others about the ingredients, we tend to be attacked due to the fanaticism which people have got towards authority.
Spurs as a troll,
where if people
definitely.
research the Tuskegee 40-year syphilis experiment that Bill Clinton apologized for, you'll see that when governments haven't all our best interests at heart, we're like guinea pigs to them. This is all documented and released information. You've got the trigger word vampires, which is just glorifying cannibalism.
The trigger word vampires glorifying cannibalism. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Oh no. Oh my God. That is the trigger word vampires. I didn't know that vampires was a trigger word. If you'll just excuse me for 1 second, I'm going to play this through.
We're brainwashed, guys. We're accepting all this food additive, Cenomix, HEK-293, which I hope people look into, is derived from aborted fetuses. Yes, cannibalism.
Hi, babe. You all right?
It's getting normalised all over mainstream,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
We all
I'm good.
keep seeing these big, famous celebrities promoting
you have 10
blood
seconds.
facials and all. Okay. Illuminati is really just Satanist pedophiles. Chemtrails is really geoengineering, which was ignored when really it's now admitted.
Stop.
Okay. Right. So
disappointed.
Well, I know he does have other stuff that we can talk about, team. But obviously, this is what he wanted to. I know that he wanted to build a case as to why we're being lied to.
There's like four or five more points. If I could rip through them, and then you've got the whole case. You're not uninformed. You've got the whole info. I really can rip through it.
All right,
let's save that for the back and forth discussion.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Save them for later. We'll still get to them.
All right. So I'd like to talk.
Thank you.
I'd like to respond. With first of all, about not believing our senses and
what's my thing?
like that. The easiest thing that I can say about that is, if I'm to believe my senses, the world is literally an indistinguishable blur. We have tools that allow us to perceive things better than our senses can. Our senses are actually pretty rubbish, and most cases shouldn't be trusted. Adverts
fight the flat
and
Earth. Fight the flat Earth. Are you just addressing his? You're not presenting evidence yourself.
No, I think everyone's seen my evidence and stuff that I presented so many times. I don't think
has Howard seen your stuff? That's a big question.
I've been at it for 2 years. I've seen and heard it all. I wanted to change it up a bit.
Okay, so would you rather have Craig address your statements, or do you want him to present his evidence? I'll leave that to you.
Bit of both. I'll leave it to the host. Yeah.
Okay.
You know.
Call on. Mrs. Jones has promised to buy me a new chair. I'm going to show you this chair, and then I'm going to give it. I'm going to wrap the stream up about 9:15, if that's all right with everybody. Mrs. Jones is on her way, and she won't be later than 9:15. So I'm going to wrap it up about 9:15. We're going to have a laugh at this Mr. Weird Beard here. We're going to carry on having a laugh. But first, I've got to show you this bloody chair. Jesus Christ. See? That's what I sit on. Dear, oh dear. Mrs. Jones has promised to get me a new chair and has failed miserably. So I'm going to kill her. I am going to kill her. She will do, though. She's promised, so she does keep up on her promises, I must admit.
No, why don't you just present evidence, fight the flat earth.
Okay.
And we'll go from there. You don't have to take the whole 10 minutes if you don't need to, but we'll start it as soon as you're ready.
Okay, all right.
Paul McKay.
Down to 5 by now.
Yeah. Right, so...
Paul McKay, thanks for dropping in on the thing, and thanks for, doing all the comments and stuff. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, my friend, and stay as well and stay safe.
The easiest evidence that we have that the Earth is a globe that we've been told is simple things like evidence of curvature, like this.
Footstool.
Everyone's seen this from Miles Davis many times. The camera height is 210 meters above sea level. In line
I will buy a new one. I will do.
Bridges. That's the 4 rail bridges down the road from me. But those mountains behind are over 500 meters, and
So, you need a website. Go to Fiverr.
That scared me.
Get your website design, content writing.
Don't know what was going on then.
You have a reference as to what eye level is, because the top of the bridges is the same as the camera height, yet the things in the distance are below that, even though they're higher. So there's clear evidence that there is curvature.
You too, Paul McKay. Stay safe, my friend.
If it was flat and not a globe, then the horizon would rise to eye level, which it clearly doesn't. The horizon is always below eye level. The higher you get, the further down it goes from eye level. You can use perspective lines to show this. There's apps that you can get to show that there is, even when you're on a plane, the horizon has dropped. That wouldn't happen if the Earth was flat, and matches with the math that the Earth is a globe. So we can talk about evidence of rotation with things.
The Earth is flat. He's from Bristol, isn't he? I think FTFE. Sure, he's from Bristol. Sure, he said he's from Bristol. Lives in Scotland. He's a good guy. I like FTFE. I like his content. It's really good. I wish he'd do more videos, though. He should do more videos.
Things like the Eötvös effect, where you can increase your centripetal acceleration if you're traveling with the rotation of the Earth and you're going faster, and that reduces your perceived gravitational effect and therefore reduces your weight.
Reduces your weight? I'd love to find something that reduces my weight. Yes, Doug, she does know it's my birthday next week, yeah. I don't know what she's got planned, but she said she's got something planned. Yeah, FTFE from Bristol, yeah.
And vice versa when you're traveling the other way. This has been demonstrated by Wolfie 6020, literally by taking weights on flights going east to west and west to east and showing that there is a difference in the weight. Fiber optic gyros, interferometric fiber optic gyros are always able to show a drift.
Get forward a bit.
And same, photos, the same images that you've just used.
I think that I'll leave it there, because that for me is pretty conclusive evidence as to the shape and the motion of the Earth.
All right. Now, is it Howard, correct?
Can I reply to you?
Howard, is that your name?
Point? Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so let me reset the time. You have 10 minutes to reply to his points, all right? The timer will start when you start talking.
Okay. With all due respect, I've seen the same pictures over and over and over again. I've offered 10,000 euros. Sorry, I offered 1,000 euros in December 2017 in English, and then in Spanish I went on national television and offered.
I think everybody knows it's my 50th. I don't know if they know it's my 50th, but it is my 50th next Friday. I know I don't look 50. I know I look more like 60 or 70. Thank you.
10,000 euros on national Spanish television, and I've only seen those same images, not photos, the same images that you've just used, especially that one that says it's not that the horizon's not eye level with the water. It's very easy for people to play with the levels of water. I would see more than them images. I would see reproducible photos and videos, but they're always the same doctored images.
Oh,
I'm sorry I don't buy them, because I live in Benidorm and I've got the image if you want to share it.
50.
I can see buildings from 20 miles away at water level that should be completely hidden. One, because there's supposed to be 80 meters drop over 20 miles, and two, because things get a lot smaller as they get further away, as I'm sure you all understand perspective. I shouldn't.
Now, Harold, or Howard, I'm just a young gun, yeah. Howard has never ever reproduced that photo. Howard has never verified that what he's looking at is actually 20 miles away. He's never ever done this. And this is why, it makes me think that he's an absolute dick, to be honest. What the bloody hell? Cat's jumping all over my bloody laptop again. I'm sure you do, Globo. I'm sure you do have young genes. If Dina Marcel or Marsley or whatever was being a dick, just ban her. If she's spamming or trying to porn bomb me, just ban her.
See any buildings, but I see them all
Please.
from top to bottom. And in the night time, I can see the street lights along the beachfront 20 miles away. So my primary observation.
It's not 20 miles away.
They beat your secondary information. With all due respect, Craig, you haven't gone and taken them photos yourself. You're judging secondary information.
That's a bot.
That's not proper science. And
no, that's called a genetic fallacy, where you're asking people to do everything for themselves. That's a genetic fallacy.
Also, where you're saying that the horizon does drop from
Spam bot, yeah, just block her.
That's not true.
Please.
By going on the official Red Bull video of the skydive from Felix Boutenberg, his name is. He went up 39 kilometers. Now that was one of my points. He went up 39 kilometers, and he opens the door, and it's at eye level. He's obviously not pointing.
Your TT is sticking. Ooh, matron.
Down, otherwise he would have fallen. So he's level, the camera's level. There's the horizon when Red Bull opens the door at 39 kilometers altitude. Neil deGrasse Tyson admits that they use a fisheye lens when they step out. Yet the other funny thing is, the landmass that we can see, which is all brown, looks like very, very similar distance to the footage we see from the International Space Station, which is supposedly 10 times higher up. So there's two contradictions. The eye level, the horizon is always eye level at Felix Boutenberg's 39 kilometer.
Yep, will do, Colo. Thank you.
And strangely enough, the International Space Station shows this very similar distance, yet it claims to be 10 times further away. Plus, the International Space Station, funny enough, is clinging onto the rotation of Earth, like you assume.
Your tiki. Sounds even worse.
The astronauts are floating inside. So is there gravity? Is there no gravity?
My tiki is sticking. Sounds even worse. You're digging yourself a hole, Globermon. Stop it.
It doesn't seem to make sense to a lot of people, this. Now, you could explain it, but guess what? O.J. Simpson had a good lawyer that could explain really good a lot of things. But sometimes a data overload isn't evidence. It's just complicating, confusing, and back to the hypnotism, it's just persuasion. And it
Hypnotism. Do you know, before I started my YouTube channel, I hadn't even heard of Neil deGrasse Tyson. I hadn't heard of the dude. Brian Cox, yeah. Stephen Hawking, obviously, Einstein, not Neil deGrasse Tyson.
It's not necessarily evidence that's conclusive, is it? When there's contradictory evidence and people making their own inquiries with primary observations instead of secondary information. Your next point was flights. I've spoken to a few pilots. I've got a video of 2 pilots that I was talking to on my last video or the one before, and they agree that a flight eastbound is pretty much the same as a flight westbound. So where's the difference in rotation? We shouldn't.
Hang on a minute. He just said, don't believe in secondary information. Yet he's asking pilots how they fly and what direction they fly and what's the flight time and everything. And he says, don't believe in secondary information, but he's asking pilots about flight times. So that is secondary information. This guy trips himself up so many times during this debate. It's untrue.
Be able to catch up the other way, as you've heard that argument loads of times. The gyroscope, yeah, well, first I didn't see the experiment. I saw a cartoon of the experiment by mainstream media that could be misleading us with entertainment and making us like all the stuff I said before.
So why don't you do the experiment yourself? What Harold does here, he tells everybody to go out and do the experiments for themselves, yet he won't do anything for himself. He says he's seen an experiment concerning a gyroscope, so why doesn't he do the experiment himself and actually make the observation, come up with a hypothesis, do the measurements, do the mathematics, do everything? But he's telling everybody to do the experiments and he doesn't do any. What a dick.
That gyroscope, if it was a valid experiment, which we don't know because we haven't done it and we've only seen a cartoon, that could have been measuring rotation of the heavens. The pendulum.
Rotation of the heavens. Oh, do you know? Right, 2 more minutes of this clown. I think we're done.
I'm sorry, I aren't educated. I'm not informed enough to make a proper debate about the pendulum, but I'm going to say maybe it is the rotation of the skies. Maybe it's the thing with the 2 tides is the sun and the moon do have not a gravitational but an electromagnetic effect on the water, charging as water's conductive, and maybe the day and the night, the change of the light, maybe that's what causes the 2 tides. I'm theorizing, and so are you.
So why don't you test your theories? You go on about the Foucault's pendulum and the gyroscope. Those are theories that have been tested. So why don't you test your own theories? This is what bugs me about flat earthers. So close-minded and everything. And they just wind me up. They just wind me up. Tell everybody to go and do their own experiments, and then they just sit there on their ass, not shaving in like 6 years, and just generally dishonest.
Know what causes the 2 tides? You only
we know exactly what causes tides.
With all due respect. So if I can quickly wrap on with my other points.
Tap it hard repeatedly.
Chemtrails. Everyone treats us with sarcasm and because they've had negative.
Hey, hold on.
What's Sean Uppard's face here? What's Sean Uppard's face? As soon as he mentioned chemtrails, what's his face?
Maybe that's what causes the 2 tides.
What's his face?
I'm theorizing, and so are you. You don't know what causes the two tides. You only
Here we go.
believe what you've been told, with all due respect. So if I can quickly
Watch his
crack on
face.
with my other points.
It's gonna come. It's gonna come.
Chemtrails. Everyone treats us with
Here we go.
sarcasm because they've had negative.
Hey, hold on. Hey, hold on.
Do you know? I think that is. Yeah, call on. Exactly. I think that is a really, really good time to end the stream there. I just want to thank everybody for moderating, and yes, Global Mom, you naughty girl. I just want to thank everybody for coming and watching. I just want to thank everybody for watching and commenting and everything like that, and supporting my channel. I'm just blown away by the generosity of people here. Yes, Global Mom, you naughty girl. I'm just blown away by the generosity, and don't forget, this coming Sunday there will be a Sunday Stupid video coming out, so check out the channel for that one, and please share this video far and wide. That would be fantastic. Thank you so much. Once again, thank you to the moderators for popping in and looking after things for me. Thanks Dog Walker, Call On, Global Mom, Doug Sharples. Thanks to Jelly Concarney for popping in. Paul McKay for checking in. Where are we? Charlie Welch for popping in. Thank you so much. Everybody. Jens Gork. So I hope I pronounced your name correctly there. Thanks also for checking in. Every single person that's checked in and clicked like and everything, thank you so much. And I will see you hopefully next Friday on my birthday. Like I say, I don't know what they've got planned, but God willing, me willing, I'll be there anyway. So where are we? Yeah, I've gone through all that. Yeah, it was fun. I had a really good time, and I hope you guys had a really good time as well. And you know, you get your ass over here, and I'm closing down. Well, hold on. It's your fault, my friend. It's not mine. Sorry, I'm only joking. So one final thing. I just want to say, like I said before, I'm just blown away by everybody's support. And yes, Doug, I hope you are. I'm just blown away by everybody's support and trust and subscribing and liking and sharing and all the rest of it. Thank you all so very much, and I will see you on the next one. So what should I say? Don't forget it. Yeah, it's Mr. Jones's birthday. Yes, thank you. So thank you everybody once again. Thank you so much. Thank you. I can't thank you enough. And thank you everybody, and good night. And I will see you this coming Sunday, 8 p.m. sharp GMT.